fewer things make me smile the way games do, right? I just got to be honest about that. I love video games, and new games, new AAA IP, old IP, it doesn't really matter. As long as it's something that's quality, I love that. And I think that we're going to get something announced very soon. This kind of has been leaked out. And again, Microsoft isn't the only ones with the worst kept secrets in the industry. Sony has tremendously failed to keep this particular thing a secret, and now even more information is coming out. And you know what? It makes a lot of sense, because when you think about it, when it comes to like a billion-dollar franchise or games that have franchises that have sold 50+ million copies, you kind of want to keep those going, and I don't blame them. If you can keep a quality going, then why not go ahead and continue to do that? I think that that's going to be very important going forward. This video in particular has really uncovered some very, very interesting news regarding this leak. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It really helps out. And you know what? It means the world to me. And a shout out to all the new subscribers. You guys are great. All the old subscribers, you guys are great. If you really want to help me out, all you got to do is like the video, man. I put in a lot of time and effort, especially lately, on these videos, trying to change things and make things a little bit better and easier for you guys. And a like means the world to me. If you want to become a member, that's fine. If you want to hit me up and talk games or give me a topic, that's fine too. At @_Crapgamer on Twitter, MOH space Crapgamer on Xbox Live, and just Crapgamer on PSN. I'm always there to talk to you guys. I appreciate the support, even if it's a critique. I appreciate that as well, man. I love talking games. I'm so passionate about it, and hopefully you guys really see that come across. I just love talking about video games. So I want to get started on this, though. Let's get going. So, I mean, would this be as strange as a lot of people would think it would be? Maybe it's not as strange. Again, what I'm talking about here, just so we don't get kind of sidetracked, is Sony apparently has a quote-unquote secret first-party new studio. And this new studio has been around for a little bit, and they've been working on a supposedly PlayStation 5 exclusive. Okay, and I actually have a link that I can share in the description below. Again, if you're new to the channel, or if you didn't know anything that's news related, I put a source and the link down below in the description. You can check that out. If it's something that's opinion related, that doesn't need a link since it's my opinion. And if it is something that I heard personally from somebody through one of a couple of contacts that I have, then I don't reveal those contacts. And I always say take everything with a grain of salt, because always the gaming industry is moving. Always, some things are always changing last minute and things like that. So what you heard today might not be what you heard last week. So that's just how these things kind of work. But I always tell you guys just up front, so you don't get too ahead of yourselves with a lot of these things, or think that I lied about something, because I try to do my best diligence and things like that to kind of get the information across with you. Some rumors are stronger than others. Some people I trust more than others. It just really kind of depends on what the situation is. So Sony has a new secret studio, and apparently this is something that's been kind of reported on for a while, and now they're getting more and more hires, and it turns out that they're getting a lot of believe it or not, a lot of ex-Naughty Dog employees. Again, so it's not just Microsoft signing these Naughty Dog employees. It's, Sony has done their fair share as well. This isn't such a strange thing when you think about it, because Naughty Dog employees are well known for their work ethic. They really put in that time to make their games great. They go that extra mile to sort of make sure that their games have that extra detail, that greatness about them. And to be clear, their last 5 AAAs have been in 90+ rated Metacritics and have sold extremely well. So again, this is turning out better and better for this extra studio that they have just in time for the PlayStation 5. And what I find interesting about it is Sony could have very easily announced this studio a couple years ago or whatever and made a big to-do about it, because Microsoft was doing that, right? But let's be real, Sony already had good studios and already had games being shown off, so they didn't really need to do that. Now, one of this is probably one of the worst kept secrets in the industry, aside from Fable coming to the Xbox, and I think that's probably one of the worst. And Lockhart, that's the other one that's kind of duh, we know that stuff is coming. But Sony has a new first-party team based in San Diego, and actually, very interestingly, maybe you're hearing this for the first time, but they're actually supposed to be working on the Uncharted franchise. Remember that this studio continues to recruit talent. Naughty Dog environmental artist was just brought over, who worked on The Last of Us Part 2. He joined the team, and he made the transition to the visual art studio group last month, presumably having completed his work on The Last of Us 2, and he's going to serve as senior environmental artist on a, quote, unannounced project, which many expect to be some kind of Uncharted sequel or spin-off. While it's primarily responsible for motion capture, the Japanese giant has been building a development studio off of it as well, because they have this VASG division, which is actually mostly just motion capture, which I believe they used in like The Last of Us Part 2 and stuff like that. They also have a development studio built on this off of that as well. PlayStation Visual Arts has a new game development team in partnership with the major Sony studios, said PlayStation's talent acquisition lead Fiona Cherback in a Twitter post a couple of years back. It's been staffing up pretty hard ever since, and we'd expect them to have something to show in the next 18 months or so, probably for the PlayStation 5. Now, you might go, well, do we really need another Uncharted? Well, I mean, listen, Uncharted is one of my all-time favorite franchises, okay? And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I love that franchise, okay? I think it's great, and I love the fact that they really go out and kind of just do such an amazing storytelling sequence. Now, Uncharted 4, I'm not going to really spoil it. They did kind of tie it up nicely, but that's not to say that he couldn't go back out or there couldn't be some kind of spin-off. They did that with the standalone game, Lost Legacy. You know, there's multiple different ways they can go about it, but the fact that they have ex-Naughty Dog people means, to me, that they at least have an idea about how they want to go about it. Again, that franchise has sold over 50 million units, and I think that it's very much a PlayStation well-branded franchise. You know, might be one of the ones that PlayStation's known best for, and I think that that's something that a lot of people probably would agree with. Now, you might go, well, how would that really work? Well, listen, we see this sometimes before as well, right? So the closest example is Microsoft. 343 Industries took over for Halo from Bungie. Now, did they make games? Did they make Halo games as good as Bungie made them? No. But there are ex-Bungie members there, and they do a pretty good job with the Halo franchise, continuing on that story. Halo 5 was a bit of a dip in the road, but at the same time, there could be some turnaround with Halo Infinite. There's rumors and stuff that it's going to be a fantastic iteration, and, again, I think that it's going to be very interesting to see how that kind of plays out. But that's not even where that stops, if you want to get technical about it, right? So you also have the Coalition. They took over for Epic Games on the Gears of War franchise, and they do a okay job. I mean, it's Gears of War, that's for sure, but at the same time, I feel like they did take a little bit of step back, so those weren't as good as the original Epic Games Gears. So you might look at Uncharted going from a constant 90s meta to somewhere in the 80s, which I think most people will be okay with that, because I feel like, just as a general rule of thumb, reviewers, once a game starts getting into like the 5, 6, 7 territory, they automatically start scoring them a little bit lower than the predecessors, right? That's just the way it is. And it's just, you can tell, like Halo's done that, Gears has done that, like each one has scored a little bit lower than games just do that, and it's just something that you can kind of keep in the back of your mind. And it's not only that's not the only examples that I have of this. You also have like Little Big Planet, like that was done by Media Molecule, the first two, and then the third one was done by a completely different developer, and then the new Sackboy Adventures is done by that same developer that did Part 3, which oddly enough is the same developer that made Crackdown 3. So I mean, we'll have to see how that works out, but there's instances of this all the time, like Sly Cooper 4, I believe, was made by a different company than Sucker Punch. There's been a lot of instances like this. Now, usually the games aren't as good as the originals by the original team, but they're still pretty good and pretty interesting stories and pretty well done. So I'm thinking that that's what Sony has up their sleeves. Imagine this, right? Like Naughty Dog is going to be able to do completely new IP. Maybe The Last of Us 3, who knows? I'm guessing probably a new IP, but you could still get a pretty good Uncharted game out there as well. I feel like Uncharted is something that needs to come out at least once a generation. I think that would be pretty fantastic, and it looks like that's their plan for them. Again, I'm really excited by this. I'm tremendously excited by what the future holds, not only just for play. I know this is more mainly PlayStation news, but just in general, it's exciting time to be a gamer right now, and all of us kind of have these amazing, amazing things to look forward to, and that's what really gets me most excited. So very much looking forward to this, and I do think that it's going to be an exciting time, and we're going to be hearing about these things probably pretty soon. So keep an ear out for it, keep an eye out for it. It's probably going to be a pretty big surprise announcement. Sony's really good at those surprises. Are you interested in seeing the Uncharted franchise come back, or did you see all you wanted to see from it, with 4 and Lost Legacy? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for taking time out of your days to spend it with me watching one of my videos. Like, share, subscribe. Stay safe, happy, healthy. Rack 'em up. Game on. Crapgamer out.
Unscripted.